All right, welcome back and say hello to Terry Vandrovec, North Dakota native and currently a sports writer in Sioux Falls for the Sioux Falls Argus Leader. He covers South Dakota State University sports and is familiar with the Summit League as anybody that we know of. And let's talk about the branding, the rebranding, I guess you could call it, of the Summit League this year. Terry, they're trying to make it more recognizable to people. So UMKC is going by Kansas City. IPFW, calling it Fort Wayne, things like that. UNO is now Omaha. Is this good, bad, otherwise? What are your thoughts as a sports writer?
Sure. Well, the Summit League has tried rebranding before, just with the name the Summit League.
Yeah.
They thought that was stood out more than the Mid-Continent Conference name. That's gone fairly well. I think it's been well received in simplified things. And so now they're trying to apply it to specific schools.
Talk about the RPI, the Ratings Percentage Index, more for basketball, and you're up on this certainly. There's an RPI for the 33 Division I conferences. Summit League was 16th at the end of last basketball season. Is the Summit League, in your mind and in the minds of people around the country, growing in status every year?
Yeah, I think they are, and that starts with men's basketball. That's the marquee sport in this league, given that there is no college football, sponsored by the conference anyways. And yeah, it starts in basketball. You've got to do well in that sport, and they have. You look the last couple of years with Oakland, with South Dakota State, they both finished in that top 60 range at the end of the season. It's a market improvement over where they were 5 years ago, even though they had some good teams. So it is working, but the next step is you've got to win an NCAA tournament game. They've had good variety in the over the last few years. Again, you've got Oakland, South Dakota State, North Dakota State, Oral Roberts. So it's not just one team carrying the banner of the conference, but at the end of the day, it's about winning tournament games and advancing, and earning more money for the league and more prestige as well.
All right. On that same note, kind of Oral Roberts in Southern Utah moved on to other conferences this year. Omaha is now in the Summit League. Is it a better league in some ways and a worse league in some ways because of that?
It's a better league from a travel standpoint, that's for sure. That UMKC Southern Utah trip was legendary. It was a grind, and I made that, I think, only once, but I tell you what, I was tired.
That was enough.
Yeah, and I'm not a guy who gets a lot of sleep anyway. So, but yeah, no, certainly the programs that are leaving brought a lot to the table. Oral Roberts baseball and Oral Roberts, it wasn't as well known, but they had the same streak of running the table their whole league existence in women's golf. And the men's basketball program, women's basketball, done very well. Southern Utah has had a strong running program for a long time, especially in the distance events. It does tighten the footprint. It makes it more sort of Midwest-based.
All right, and quickly let's touch on South Dakota State, a team you cover, a volleyball team. A disappointing season last year, 13-20 overall, after they got off to a really good start. What happened last year? How are they using that to spur them on this year? Yeah,
well, it sort of came down to details, and you hear that a lot from coaches, but I think they were proof of that because they showed early in the year they were very capable and picked to finish second in the conference. And a lot of people expected a lot of things, and it didn't pan out. And once things went in the wrong direction, they just couldn't get it back the other way. But instead of sort of blowing that off and choosing not to watch the film, so to speak, they made that a real rallying point in the offseason as to why did this happen, what can they do differently, and how can they move forward and get better.
Thanks a lot, Terry. We'll talk to you again in a couple of weeks. Terry Vandrovec from the Argus Leader here in Sioux Falls. Talking cross country next, and the story on a very good cross country team at North Dakota State when we come back.